Thousands of years ago, there lived a mighty king named Nimrod, a ruler who claimed dominion over the entire world. He was from the Chaldean tribe, and in the beginning, his subjects regarded him as a just and powerful monarch. People revered him deeply and worshipped numerous idols under his authority. To display his power, Nimrod once constructed a massive tower, a symbol of his ambition to reach the heavens. From its summit, he shot arrows toward the sky, which, according to legend, returned covered in blood. The question arises, where did that blood come from? And why did the Almighty Allah grant him such vast power that he became arrogant enough to challenge the Lord of the heavens? Over time, Nimrod's greed for power and control grew boundless. He expanded his empire from the south to the north, claiming vast lands under his rule. Eventually, he began to declare himself a god, forcing his people to worship him and the idols he made. Though the Quran does not mention Nimrod by name, many Islamic scholars believe that his story is alluded to in Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah speaks of a tyrant to whom he gave great dominion, yet who used it for arrogance and disbelief. However, due to his oppression and pride, Nimrod came into conflict with Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Many scholars identify this tyrant as Nimrod himself, one of the most ruthless and authoritarian rulers in history. In fact, some historical sources consider him the first man in human history to claim, "I am God." Nimrod built the city of Babylon and ruled with cruelty. He is believed to have descended from Ham, the son of Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, specifically from Ham's grandson, Cush. The descendants of Ham were known to be warriors and empire builders, dominating vast territories and claiming divine control over human fate. According to certain records, Nimrod's rule stretched over regions corresponding to modern-day Egypt, Libya, Arabia, and even parts of India. He led conquests from northern Mesopotamia to Anatolia, and his armies overpowered many nations. He was also the one who ordered Prophet Ibrahim to be thrown into the fire, an act of rebellion against Allah.
Ancient texts describe Nimrod as a clever astrologer, a cruel despot, and a merciless idol-worshipping builder. His temples overflowed with idols, and he forced his people into worshipping him and his queen as divine beings. As a symbol of his vanity, he built a grand temple filled with statues, glorifying his false divinity. His reign lasted for nearly 400 years. In the Quran, there are about 91 verses related to the events between Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, and the tyrant Nimrod, verses that illustrate how arrogance, blind greed, and disbelief in Allah lead a man to destruction. When Prophet Ibrahim began his mission, Nimrod's kingdom was steeped in idol worship. People believed their idols could eat, drink, speak, and forgive sins. They thought their idols controlled life, death, fortune, and destiny. There was no belief in the afterlife, nor in divine justice. Their temples served as both houses of worship and courts of judgment, and anyone who defied their rituals faced severe punishment, stoning, exile, or even being burned alive. Then came the night that changed everything. Nimrod had a terrifying dream. He saw a brilliant light descending from the sky, brighter than the sun and the moon. Startled, he called his astrologers to interpret it. They told him, "A child will soon be born in your kingdom. He will guide people to the truth, bring them back to the worship of one God, and your power will ultimately fall because of him." Hearing this, Nimrod grew furious. He ordered all newborn boys to be killed, and thousands of innocent infants were slaughtered. Among them, the decree had also targeted the newborn prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him. but Allah had already destined to protect him. As Ibrahim grew older, he became deeply disturbed by the idol worship around him. One night, under a clear sky, he pondered over the stars, moon, and sun, the very objects his people worshipped. Seeing them appear and disappear, he realized that the true Lord can never vanish. He began preaching this truth to his father, Azar, and to his people, calling them to the worship of one true God, Allah.
When his people mocked him, he challenged their false beliefs with logic and patience. He asked them, "Do your idols eat the food you offer them? Can they speak? Can they protect you?" When they had no answer, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, destroyed their idols, leaving only the largest one intact, placing the axe around its neck. When the people returned, they were shocked to see their gods shattered. They accused him, but he calmly replied, "Ask the big one. Maybe he broke the rest because you worshipped them instead of him." When they said, "But idols cannot speak," Ibrahim, peace be upon him, replied, "If they cannot speak or defend themselves, how can they protect you?" His logic silenced them, but their pride would not let them surrender. They chained him and brought him before Nimrod. When confronted, Nimrod arrogantly argued with Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, about Allah. The Quran recounts, "Have you not seen the one who disputed with Ibrahim about his Lord, because Allah had given him kingship?" When Ibrahim said, "My Lord gives life and causes death," Nimrod replied, "I, too, give life and death." Then Ibrahim said, "Allah brings the sun from the east. Bring it from the west if you are truthful." And Nimrod was silenced. Outraged, Nimrod ordered his advisors to punish Ibrahim. One of them, Hinnon, suggested burn him alive in a massive fire. For a month, people gathered wood and built an enormous pyre. The flames rose so high that even birds could not fly near it. When Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was chained and thrown into the fire, the angels cried out to Allah, begging to save his beloved servant. Allah sent Gabriel, peace be upon him, to Ibrahim, asking, "Do you have any wish?" He replied, "Yes, but not from you, only from my Lord."
His faith was unwavering. He knew that the fire itself obeys Allah's command. So Allah decreed, "O fire, be coolness and peace for Ibrahim." The flames instantly became cool and harmless. Only his ropes burned away, and Ibrahim, peace be upon him, walked out unharmed, radiant with peace and divine light. This miracle astonished everyone. Even Nimrod was shaken. But instead of repenting, his arrogance grew. Determined to challenge Allah, Nimrod built a tower reaching toward the sky, declaring, "If there is a God in heaven, I will reach him and defeat him." When he fired arrows toward the sky, and they returned stained with blood, his followers foolishly believed he had wounded the God of the heavens. Yet it was only a sign from Allah, exposing Nimrod's blindness and pride. Later, Nimrod challenged Ibrahim again, saying, "Call upon your God. I will go to war against him with my army." But Allah's power is not of armies and swords. Soon swarms of tiny flies descended upon Nimrod's soldiers, devouring their flesh and driving them into panic. Nimrod fled to his palace and sealed the doors, thinking he was safe. But one small fly slipped through a crack, entered his nose, and reached his brain. The mighty tyrant was brought low by a creature smaller than a grain of sand. The pain drove him mad. He beat his head against the walls, ordered his soldiers to strike him just to ease the agony.
Finally, one blow shattered his skull, and Nimrod died in humiliation. Thus ended the reign of the man who claimed to be God. As the Quran says, "They plotted evil against him, but we made them the losers."
Surah Al-Ankabut, Ayah 39-40. Nimrod's story remains a timeless reminder that no matter how powerful a man becomes, one fly from Allah can bring down an empire.